G'day cocktail lovers and welcome to the Cocktail Dome, where we bring you all the excitement of big league cocktails. I'm your host Chuck Carrots and I'm Archbishop, and today in the Cocktail Dome we're bringing you Scotch. I think it's fair to say that's used less often in cocktails than other whiskies. That's right, Chuck, and today Mr. Angry's promising to bring us the diversity of Scotch. Gonna have a cold fruity drink, go down a treat on a hot day, and then a hot drink. If you want something like that in winter. Well, it's always good to provide options, Arch, but not everyone associates drinks with weather. But if you do, someone's in winter, someone's in summer. That's right, Chuck and Arch. It's winter here in Australia right now, but I know a lot of people watch from the Northern Hemisphere, and they're likely getting at least slightly more summery weather than us. So I thought I'd make drinks to suit the different seasons. Now, these drinks aren't particularly well known. It's likely people haven't heard of them, but what's great about them is they broaden your horizons of what you can do with Scotch. Now, of course, you could use whatever whiskey you liked in these cocktails, but I did a bit of experimenting and I found if you use a really peaty Scotch, you get some really good results with the different flavours working together. First up, the summer drink. This is a version of a cocktail called the Linstead, which first appeared in William Boothby's 1934 book, World Drinks and How to Mix Them. I'm going to use a Scotch. In fact, I'm going to use this Talisker 10-year-old in the cocktail. Now, this is a shaken cocktail, so we're going to put 2 ounces or 60 mils of our whiskey into our shaker. We're also adding pineapple juice to this drink. In this case, it's going to be 1.5 ounces or 45 mils of pineapple juice into our shaker. We'll be adding a little sugar as well, around 1/3 of an ounce or 10 mils of sugar syrup going into our shaker. To make things interesting, there's also a little absinthe in this drink. The original recipe said a dash. I'm doing about a barspoon, around 5 mils of absinthe into the shaker. As this is essentially a sour, I thought it would be nice if it had a foamy head. I like a foamy head on my sours. You could use an egg white to get this effect. Pineapple juice itself tends to make a good foamy head, but I'm going to help it along by throwing in a few drops of Wonder Foam. To get the best result with the foam, I am going to do a dry shake followed by a wet shake. So first up, no ice. Put the shaker together, bang it in hard, shake that good and hard for 10 to 15 seconds. We then add ice to our shaker for the wet shake. Once more, put it together, bang it in hard, shake it again for another 10 or 15 seconds. And there is your Linstead cocktail. That is a nice looking drink. See what you mean about the flavours, the play between the Scotch, the pineapple and the absinthe. It's amazing. I don't really think of Scotch as a summer drink, but if someone hands me one of these poolside, oh, they're getting a thumbs up. Glad you liked it, fellas. Now, for the hot drink. Now, this one is a Jim Meehan recipe from the PDT cocktail book. It's called Pere Bis, which I think translates as the father again. I have no idea what daddy issues are going on there. But it's recommended you use chamomile tea with this one. You can of course use the tea of your choice, but chamomile is a good choice. It's slightly bitter, and that's going to complement the other flavours in this drink. Now, this one I really strongly recommend a peated whiskey, because with the hot tea, the peat aroma just wafts up, and mixed with the honey that's in there, it's just amazing. Well, you got me sold, Mr. Angry. Sounds like a great winter warmer.
Yeah, Chuck, my old gran used to lace her tea with Scotch and honey. She said it was medicinal.
Well, she sounds like a fine traditional woman.
Oh, I guess she was. She'd traditionally get into violent fistfights at the pub after a 5th whiskey of the night.
Ah, the good old days. So, tell us about this drink. Because this is a hot drink, you're going to want to serve it in something that has a handle. The recipe recommends 4 ounces of the chamomile tea. You could scale that up or down depending on your taste. But again, the peated whiskey, so I'm going to use the Talisker 10-year-old again, and this is going to be 45 mils or 1.5 ounces of the Talisker whiskey going straight in our teacup. We're also adding 15 mils or 1/2 ounce of elderflower into our cup, and we'll be adding 1/2 ounce, 15 mils of honey syrup as well. I really recommend you find a good quality honey rather than getting a cheap, crappy supermarket honey. It will make a big difference to this drink, but whatever you go with, we're going to add 15 mils to our cup. The final touch is to add 4 ounces of the tea to your cup. You could maybe put in a lemon wedge as a garnish, give it a little stir, and there is your Pere Bis.
Oh, Piggy's out for this one, Arch.
Oh, of course.
Oh, this one, you know what you're getting even before you drink it.
You sure do, Chuck.
That unmistakable waft of Scotch and honey, it's really something. And the taste, there's so much going on.
Oh, there sure is. That little bit of elderflower really complements the honey, giving it some floral notes.
I certainly wouldn't limit myself to this one only in winter.
Neither would I, Chuck. I think this one would be a great drink finisher after a really nice dinner.
I like your thinking, Arch. Both of these have highlighted that Scotch isn't common in cocktails. It's very versatile.
Whatever time of year it is, whatever you taste, there's a Scotch cocktail to match.
Which fits in perfectly with our motto, life's too short to waste time on boring cocktails. Cheers!